every sin somewhere is because you're not paying attention to love.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned joy a little bit. I love joy. Joy is just one of those really important things. And sometimes when we're so far down, joy just seems unattainable. But we have to remember that God doesn't talk about joy the same way he talks about happiness or anything temporary. It does come from the seed that he gives us, and then we develop it from there. So from there, going to kindness. Kindness is a hard one in the world today too, don't you think?
Yeah.
People are pretty crude and rude today. Somebody told me recently, said, you need to do a seminar just on manners. I mean, it's like people out in the world today they just don't have manners. I mean, some of the stories that people tell me who work with the public, I mean, a couple of my granddaughters work at a fast food restaurant, and they said, you would not believe the way people can act if you just don't give them enough ketchup packets.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
wow.
like,
Yeah.
It's like people are just ready to explode. And it's not that hard to be a little bit kind to people.
Yeah, I think kindness is a lost art somewhat, because even though it's a fruit, but I'm saying it's kind of lost in this culture because we're used to getting things quickly.
Yeah.
Like this is like a very fast-paced world, and so that's where I think a lot of patience lacks and a lot of kindness, because everybody's just on the go. And so one thing that I tried to keep instilling in my daughter, just be kind. Like, say thank you. Say please. Those are like lost things that I don't think. And I grew up in a time, my parents, if I didn't say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir, to any adult, like I would get in trouble. And so I raised my daughter the same way. She still says it now. People get offended because they don't want, you think I'm old? Like, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to respect, but I think that just that art of kindness, like I still do it. I don't care. I'm like, thank you. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. It's just kindness. It's just being gentle and kind.
Yeah.
I think joy comes from being thankful too.
Yes.
I really believe that if you're having a cranky day and you're unhappy, you're probably unhappy because you're thinking about what you don't have and what people are not doing for you. But if you turn it around, and I try to do this every morning. I thank God for several different things that, are pretty ordinary things. This morning I got to turn my fireplace on because it was a little bit cool outside, and I love my fireplace, so I thank God that I had a fireplace.
Yeah.
And if you keep your mind on what you do have, you can be happy. But I heard something the other day that I read this that I thought it was really, really good. Maturity, growing up in God, which you have to do in order to display these fruit, it takes going through some hard stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, that's just where we grow. And this man said he was talking to his father, who was elderly, and he said, son, I've learned that you can never be really happy until you've had plenty of reasons to be sad.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, if you think about that, that's really deep.
Yes.
Because when you've been hurt, I think that's when you stop hurting people. Like you said, you've been so much nicer to people, but it's because you went through a year of real pain.
Yeah.
And when we haven't had that, we're not sensitive to what other people are going through.
Yeah. One thing I love about joy, I think it connects really well to peace, because we can be going through something terrible and traumatic and whatever it is, but you can still have joy because we have the peace to know that God's taking care of it. That doesn't mean my circumstance is great, but to me, I can feel that joy. And sometimes I've wondered, like, Aaron, why are you smiling right now? You should be you should be crying. But I know that God's taking care of it. So it's like an unspeakable joy because I have that peace. I think they work together.
Yeah, and there's something beautiful about the fact that the Bible tells us that the joy of the Lord is our strength. And we don't often connect joy with being strong. But
Love
the
that verse.
joy of the Lord is something that gives us strength. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Well,
If it does feel like a weapon, like you're fighting
Exactly.
back.
And if
Sorry.
if joy is the opposite of sadness, then that makes a lot of sense to me because I've been sad.
Yeah.
When I'm sad, like I'm wimpy.
You don't feel strong, right?
No,
Yeah, at that time.
Yeah, like when you're sad, it's easy to not feel strong.
Yeah.
But so if the opposite of sadness is joy, then that makes so much sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
just getting up. Like I remember growing up, we would sing like the like if you need joy, you can leap for it. Like we used to sing that all the time, And so honestly, I still use that to this day. If I'm really feeling low, I'll just get up and like start jumping around, like acting silly, or think of something,
Dance it out.
or just make my heart leap, like something and that's where gratitude comes in.
Yeah.
Where, like just think of something that'll give you joy, and you do feel strength from that.
Yeah.
That doesn't
Yeah.
take away the issue,
Right.
but it definitely makes you not feel so wimpy.
Kind of refocuses you too
Yeah.
on
Well,
Jesus.
really, when the devil comes against us and gives us trials and tribulations and problems, he's really not after whatever it is he's trying to take away from you. He's after your joy.
Yeah.
And he knows that's the way to get it. Joy is extremely important. And this may sound like something that people think, no, that wouldn't work. But you can actually make your mind up in the morning. I'm going to be joyful today. I'm going to have a good day. I'm going to be happy with what God's given me. I'm going to be content. Because in Colossians 3, it says, set your mind and keep it set on things that are above. So the thoughts that you have early in the morning sometimes set you up for the whole rest of the day. Yeah, that's why the enemy makes a bid for your thoughts sometimes before your feet ever hit the floor.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of learned over 45 years, it's a long time. I mean, I was so stupid in the beginning. But I've learned over 45 years that the Word of God actually will work if you work it.
Yeah.
If you do what it says. So set your mind and keep it set on things that are above. And that doesn't mean sit around and think about heaven all day, but it means to think of the things that God would want you to do, but you have to do that. So you can take a little time before you ever get out of bed in the morning and think, okay, Lord, I love you. Thank you for another day. I'm going to be joyful today. I'm going to walk in love today. I need your help. I can't do it without you. But how many people wake up and the first thing they think about is who they're mad at and what somebody did to them yesterday that, they're irritated about.
Yeah. I like this verse talking about kindness. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted and forgiving. Because there are a lot of different ways you can be kind, right? You can be kind in endless ways. But tender-hearted is something that really speaks to me about kindness. It's keeping our hearts soft even when the world is hard, even when the pain around us makes us feel self-protective.
Right.
And so kindness can only come when we keep our heart tender, and that comes from forgiveness. So it kind of ties together with what you're saying about that first thought in the morning can't be who I'm mad at.
Right.
Or you're not waking up with a tender heart, and
Right.
kindness is not going to flow out of that.
Well, like Jay talked about how much kinder she is now. And it's because you had a good dose of
I got to beat down.
Sometimes you got to get that hardness beat out of you. And, God never is trying to be mean to us, but I'm going to do a speaking engagement later this week, and I'm going to teach on the raising of Lazarus from the dead. But the main thing I'm after is I love the part where it says that Jesus knew that Lazarus was sick. So because he loved him, he waited 2 more days until he went. Now, I mean,
Right. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
no, see, it's like we got to pay attention to that. Because he loved him, he didn't go help him.
Yeah.
And so that, and see,
Why?
because
Why did he do that?
I don't like it.
because there was something deeper
Yeah.
he was after. There was a greater lesson that he wanted to teach Mary and Martha. Now, I tend to be a rescuer. So I would have wanted to ran real fast and rescued poor Lazarus. But how many people rescue their kids and they think they're helping them?
Sure.
And really what they're doing is just enabling them to keep the bad behavior that they have.
That just shows
so-
the self-control that Jesus had. Too, because of how much he loves us. Yes, as a parent, you want to run to your kid, but he knew what was better for them.
Right.
To hold back. Oh,
I'm
And,
sure
Ma-
he
and
wanted
Mary
to
and
be
Martha
better.
both were, Lord, why? If you would have been
Yeah.
here, why weren't you here? Why did you let me go through this? And the Bible says you're to thank God in things, but it also says you're to thank God for everything. And now let me tell you, that's a whole nother level.
yeah, that's hard.
When
some
you
hard
start
thankfulness.
I mean, think
Everything, no.
Think about that. Yeah, thank God for everything. And I've been trying that. And
How's it
it's-
going?
Well, it's going.
We're not to your level yet, so.
But it's like I don't want to just study the word. I really want to take it seriously
Yeah.
and try it all out.
Yeah, I love
It's
that.
like, so if I'm supposed to thank God for things, it doesn't make any sense to me. But okay, God, I thank you for that blow up we had in the family. And I believe the reason why we can thank God for things is because we do believe that God can work something good